struggle to feel this in your butt, if you feel it more on the tops of your thighs or your low back, tilt your tailbone, like roll your tailbone under, like you were trying to kind of tilt your hips more towards your chest and then lift. It's almost like tucking your butt. And then give your cheeks a nice big squeeze so that we're waking up the back of the body in our glute bridge without getting too much into that low back. That's the goal here, is just to kind of wake up that booty. So once we've done 10 of those, we're going to flip over onto hands and knees and give us 5 cat-cows. So with cat-cow, we draw the belly button into the spine, round out the upper back, then drop it down with the head, with the chest. So if you're just joining us on the replay, you're going to need either dumbbells or a mini band or both, if you have that. You're going to want one or the other, if not both. If you have both, you'll use both. We're on strength 3 today, and as I was telling the group just before we started, it is 8s today. So when we get done with 5 cat-cow, we're coming to forearms, hand behind the head. We've got 8 T-spine here. Making sure to turn the entire shoulders, both shoulders, not just the elbow, the whole torso turning. We're mobilizing the upper back here, trying to get some movement through a part of the body that gets really stiff from sitting and working on a computer and looking at a phone and all that good stuff. So, those of you who are new to us, 8s means we're going to do 8 of all the exercises that we repeat every Friday. So there are certain ones we work on time after time after time. That's what we're going to be doing 8 of. Coming back to hands and knees for bird dogs. One arm on the opposite leg. Extend out. Point the fingers, reach the heel. Draw the belly into the spine. We've got 10 of these on each side. Don't rush the bird dog. I see that a lot. It's something that's a great core activation. It's a good lower back exercise. You have to take your time with it. Move slowly. Find balance. Very nice. So we've got some push-ups today. We've got hinge power move. We're going to go rear flies. We've got single leg squats. All of our traditional strength 3 exercises. What's really fun about 8th week is this is our chance to get more challenged. So we're going to see if we can do a little bit lower in our push-ups. We're going to see if we can squat a little lower in our single leg squat. 8th week is the time, because it's fewer reps, to really kind of increase the challenge and see the progress that we've made. Once you finish bird dogs, we'll stand up. We've got arm circles back for 10. 10 back, 10 forward. You guys, I get so rusty because I'm only teaching 1 distance class a week right now. Starting next week, I'll have 2. But as you know, go ahead and switch it forward. I was teaching all of them for 10 weeks. And so now when I come in to do this every Friday, I'm like, whoa, I gotta get back in my groove here. I'm teaching a ton at the studio, but in person's totally different. I mean, not totally, but it's different as far as from a teaching standpoint. So once we finish 10 circles forward, we're going into our 5 toe-touch squats, arms up. Round it down, reach for your toes. Drop your butt between your hips. Press your heels down with your chest. Right arm by the ear, left arm by the ear, stand up. We have 5. So we're going around, tuck it down, reach, reach, and lift. Yeah, so we're trying to keep the arms inside the legs. That's important, so we can kind of press the knees out and open up the hips. This is a hip opener. It is a ankle mobility exercise, and it's good for the shoulders as well. Finishing this 5th one here. Reach, reaching up. Gate openers for 10 on each side. Lift, open and down. Set it down with control. Just like we would in any exercise when we're lifting that leg, you have the control on the way up and on the way down. I'll say this now because I'm thinking about it. So starting next week is the 1st week of July, we are going to do a slight change to the schedule on Thursdays and Fridays for distance. So we were doing a noon on Thursday, and it just doesn't seem like that's a good time for folks, and a lot of people wanted something in that 8 a.m. time frame. So we're going to do 8:30 with me on Thursday mornings. And then this class is going to move to noon, although there are a couple weeks where it's like 12:30. I'm flexible. I really have to say I prefer not to do it this late. If this is the only time you can do, let me know. But I'd rather get it done earlier and have a replay out for you guys so we don't have to wait until basically almost tomorrow morning for a replay. But if there's a mid-afternoon, like 3 even, that you guys would want, let me know. I'm open for suggestions. The only time that was given to me on a Friday that folks wanted was noon. So, our first superset, we're gonna do our hinge power move. I'm gonna show you 3 levels. Remember, this is 8. What that means is, if you've been doing level 1 for a while, now might be the time to go for level 2, or now might be the time to go from level 2 to level 3. If you have dumbbells and you want to use dumbbells, you have 2 options. You can use 2 weights, or you can use 1 heavy weight. Level 1 is our hinge back. And we're going to reach up, push through the toes, bring the hips forward, tuck the butt, and squeeze. That's level 1. We're trying to spring up and tuck. Level 2, we're going to make this a jump, land, and go right back down into it. Make sure we don't take the shoulders below the hips. Level 2. Level 3, 2 options. You can have 2 weights, 1 on each side, hinge and swing them here, or you can take 1 weight out in front, tilt it towards you, swing it here like a kettlebell swing, tuck your rib cage, tuck your hips. Everybody, just be sure not to do this, no matter what version you're doing. You have 8, begin whenever you're ready. So, we're going down and up. It's either a reach, maybe it's a jump, maybe we're going to swing a dumbbell, whether it's 2 or 1. Eyes to the floor, core tight, butt back, shoulders down. You have 8. Everybody get tight as you can. Nice. So whatever we're swinging, you want to think, yeah, let the elbows bend, and we're like popping. Yes, gorgeous. You guys look awesome. Our next exercise is push-ups. With push-ups, you can use something to elevate your hands. It could be the wall, it could be a desk, it could be a table, it could be a piece of furniture. You can come to high plank, and then set the knees down, and work it that way. You can come full toes if that's where you are. If you're on your knees, try to keep as much weight in your hands as you can. Again, our goal, week by week, is simply to get stronger, whatever level we're on. Nice, looking good, you guys. Woo! If you're doing really well on both knees, you're getting your chest to the floor, start going with 1 leg straight and 1 knee bent. And do as many as you can. I'll show that our next set. We had someone in today who did the distance with all of you guys the whole time we were closed, and she got 5 push-ups on her toes for the first time today in person. It was really cool. Nice, yes, both Emily's looking great. When you're ready, you come back up, you go back into that hinge. I'm going to show the dumbbell one again if you're using 1 dumbbell just because it's the only one we've never done. Squeeze your back, shoulders down just like we were swinging a kettlebell. Make sure to pop your hips, keep the elbows bent, keep the core tight. And we're just going to snap it and lock it, like pop and lock. Woo, yeah, see, there you go, Emily, with why, that's exactly it. So you stick 1 leg out, 1 knee down. You're going to be closer and closer to push-ups on the ground before you know it. So, if you're doing that push-up here, you come into your high plank, set your knees down. If you're getting really close to the floor, try taking 1 leg out and working on it that way. It's more weight in your upper body. It's going to challenge your core more. But then you're just going to work on that for a while. And the next set, you'll switch legs. Or you can do 4 and switch legs at 4. It's totally up to you. Nice work, Shasta. You might even be able to separate your hands a little more. It might give you a little more room in your upper body. Yeah, like outside the mat. There you go, yes. Yeah, sometimes, for whatever reason, especially if we're real tight in the neck and shoulders, taking a wider spread of your hands will give you more depth ability. Remember, you can rest if you want to rest. I'll give those an interval who want an interval. But if you're like, let's do it. Everybody here is on with me live is doing it. So if you're on the replay and you need a break, push pause. We got 8 hinges. The most is to snap your hips forward but lock your ribs down so that we end up straight and not arched. And we're going to stick the chest out, shoulders back. Shoulders and hips end up in line. We got 8 of those. You got it! Nice work, chest up. Awesome job. Whenever you get finished, if you're ready and you want to do an interval, your interval is jumping jacks, and you're going to do 30 of them when you're ready. That's an option. My push-up people. There you go. Yes, exactly. So, if you're not quite ready, or if you're getting rather low when you go to your knees, you can always use the wall. You can use a bench. We're all doing the same exercise. It's just going to look different depending on what surface you're on. Elevated or the floor. Perfect, good work, guys. So if you want to do the jumping jacks, you can do 30 jumping jacks. If you'd rather just take a break and get some water, you can do that too. Yeah, low impact or high. Woo! You guys are doing great. Eventually, for your next set, you'll need either a mini band or dumbbells. But we'll get to that in a second. Woo! Good work on that first set. Let's go and tilt this. Let me show real fast. So we're going into single leg squats. If you have issues at the knees with single leg squats, remember that your option is to do a single leg bridge. And if there's anybody who that bothers your low back, you can always do a 2-footed bridge too. And in that case, you would do 16. If you're going single leg, you're going to 8 on each side. If you're going 2 feet, you're going to do 16. If your knees are solid, we have kickstand single leg squats. Feet together, knees together, pop the heel. Sit back, lean forward, bridge forward, drop your butt. 8 on each side. So notice I'm trying to get like this nice flat back angle. So I'm gonna, depending on how tight I am, I'm gonna have to lean pretty far forward. Beautiful work, you guys. And always our goal is to get low before we start worrying about putting less weight into our foot. So you gotta get down there before we're trying to really up the ante on the single leg challenge. When you're done there, of course, you're gonna switch feet and go to the other side, 8 on each side. Since we do these week after week after week, all I want you guys to be paying attention to is if you're improving. Are we getting any lower? Are we getting any stronger on one side? That's what we're after. It takes time. And we're not going to change what we're doing as far as putting a little weight in that foot until you can get all the way down here. Until you can get to here. Then I will show you how we make it harder. When you finish with your single legs, no rush, you guys. You're either going to need 2 dumbbells or a mini band. Hang on, I got to grab my dumbbells. Whoops. I just realized I came unprepared. Here they are. These little baby weights. Okay. So, we're going to do hammer curls. If you're using dumbbells, if you have no mini band, if you have a mini band, use the mini band. If you don't, we're going to go palm in, elbow in, and we're curling here like that. You're going to hold the weight in the other hand, but you're going to do all 10 on one side. My mini band, people, we're going to anchor it, and then we're going to pull it. So it's just like what we're doing with the dumbbell. It's a hammer curl. Now, be sure we're not doing this. If you're using a mini band, your wrist should be straight. So pull it from your bicep. You got 10 on each side. Everybody's going to keep their elbow and their upper arm up against their body. But my band people and the dumbbell, you know, with the dumbbell, it's a little easier to keep the wrist straight in this position because you're perpendicular. Your weight is perpendicular to the ground. With a band, you know, there's a tendency to want to muscle through this with the wrist. Your wrist is basically just letting the band come along. You're pulling it with your bicep. And we have 10 on each side. So if you're at home and you have dumbbells and your dumbbells aren't super heavy, the band is nice because with the band I can pull this down farther away from me and make this harder. If you're at home and your dumbbells aren't super challenging, then I want you to go slow on the way up and slow on the way down. Like give it a 3 count down. That will make it more challenging even if it's not heavy. Okay, so there we have it. We got 8 single leg squats. We got 10 hammer curls, weights or bands. When you are ready, we're back into our single leg squat. Lean forward, sit back, chest out, push through the heel. Remember that if this bothers your knees, you're on the ground in either a single leg bridge or a 2-footed bridge if your back's real mad. A lot of folks that I work with who have knee issues, these don't bother their knees because we're able to really deload the knee by sitting way back. But if that's not the case for you, don't hesitate. Do that single leg bridge. Either way, you're going to go as low as you can. Really put the weight in the heel, the leg that we're working, and then we're just putting the toe down on the opposite side. Drive up like you're pushing yourself through the floor. Pull your core tight. You guys are great. Very, very nice. Ooh, exhale as you come up. Always want to exhale against gravity. So breathe out, press up. Good work. So remember when I get to that next exercise, if you're working with fairly light dumbbells, you can take it up and then slow as you come down. That will add a challenge. My folks working with a band here, you can pull the band down a little farther away from you. And then everybody pin your elbow, your upper arm at your side, and then make sure that wrist is in line with your forearm. We just don't want to be yanking this up with the forearm. So get a good grip on it, and then pull it with that bicep. So we have 10. Don't forget about what's happening in your core and your shoulders. I just caught myself in the mirror kind of leaning to one side. You might not have a mirror, so you just kind of want to think like, okay, can I tuck my butt? Am I pulling my core in tight? Making sure, trying to feel if my shoulders are level. Even when we're working our upper body, we want to think about our core. Nice work. All right. Eventually, when you're done with that, we're going to do one more set. No rush, you guys, no rush. All right. So if you need to, go on the floor, single leg bridge or 2-footed bridge. Otherwise, let's hit that last set of single leg squats. I know how strong and fit you guys are becoming from doing all these virtual workouts because nobody wants to take breaks anymore. You guys are, everybody's like, nope, we're good. We're just gonna go right to it, which is awesome. And we've been joking because here in studio, especially those of you guys who've come in studio and worked out before with us, we're getting done like way faster. Not way faster, but maybe 5 to 10 minutes faster than we used to. And it's because folks aren't moving around the room and like going to get water and like looking at their phone or waiting for equipment. They're just in their little zone doing their thing, just like you guys are at home. Makes it more efficient. I love it. Get it done. Get on with it. Not a lot of distractions. That's the way we want to be. Last set of these single leg squats. Get as low as you can. Push past the point where it's challenging. Push past the point where your body wants to stop. Don't forget to breathe. Yes. Last set of hammer curls whenever you're ready. So shoulders back and down. Tuck your tailbone. Core tight. We're either just really going to resist the weight on the way down, or we're going to really pull down on this band on the opposite side. Try to get some good tension here. And that upper arm's not moving. You guys are perfect. Yeah. Woo. Oh, yeah. Last set. Nobody has any big plans, huh? I ask everybody that every Friday. I'm like, what are your big plans for the weekend? And everyone's like, no, nothing. Maybe a couple people starting to take little vacations, which is nice. Little like lake vacations. I got one coming up in August. Hopefully you guys get some time off. So grab some water. If you decide that you want an interval, you can do a butt kicker for 30, and that's either here, count your leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, or here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So count your single leg. You got 30 of those. If you would rather just rest. That will be okay too. So, we are about half Way done. We've got one more set of 2 and then a set of 3 exercises to finish out. So we're gonna get this next one, and then we got some core stuff and cardio and all that. Eventually, when you finish doing your butt kickers, if you have dumbbells, you can use dumbbells. If you have a mini band, you can use a mini band. We're gonna do a rear fly. And we're gonna do both arms together. So what we have been doing traditionally is one arm at a time. We're gonna do both. So the rear fly position is always about a hinge at the shoulder. I always like to think of it like a puppet, like a marionette puppet. If I'm using dumbbells, I'm gonna have to bend over because I need to be angled against gravity. So I'm gonna bend over kind of like chest to thighs. I'm gonna open and close. Eyes down, going out to the side and lower. So we have 8 of those. If you're using dumbbells, go ahead. If you're using a mini band, you're gonna put your fingers inside it. You can bend over or you can stand up straight. Like you can bend over, but if that bothers your low back, you can also do this without bending over if you're using a band. And we got 8. Beautiful. Just like we talked about on your biceps. If you're dumbbells, it doesn't take a lot on a rear fly, so you might be fine. But if your dumbbells aren't quite as challenging as you would like, you can always go super slow on the way down. That will make it more challenging. So, the next exercise, if you have a mini band, bring it with you. We're taking it to the floor. If you don't, you're just going to do this exercise without a band. We're still going to make it challenging. If you have a band, it goes above your thighs. I can't express enough to you how great the mini bands are, though. They're not very expensive either. So we're going to lay all the way back in our bridge position. We're going to bridge, open the knees, close the knees, and set it down. Now, when we open our knees, especially if you don't have a band, you might be thinking you're going to open your knees really far, but inevitably what happens is we open the knees and then the hips and the core drop. My goal is to maintain this so nothing moves as my knees open and close. And I want to feel my glute muscles right here on the side of my butt. Open a little bit, close a little bit, set it down. So we're doing 20. If you're going ahead and start, go ahead and start. Remember, tuck your tailbone, open, close, and down. I cannot emphasize enough how small this is. When you open your knees, you're going like 2 inches out. Not more than that. And so it really has to come from the control and the squeeze of the glute muscles. If you're doing this right, you feel this right now. You're like, oh dang, I feel exactly where. I like to think of it like hinges. So imagine like a set of doors, what do they call those, French doors. And there's hinges on either side, and your legs and your knees are the French doors. And the hinges are where your butt is on the side. And so you just want to open and kind of feel those hinges move. But not very big, you're just like taking a little peek out. But if you're doing it right now, you're probably on like 12 or 13. You're starting to feel your butt here. Pay attention to what's happening at your hips when you open your knees. They shouldn't drop. If they're dropping, try a smaller open. Keep it as controlled as you can. Ooh, I've got like 3 more. So we're up and squeeze, open, down. You got it. Nice work, everybody. So you're going to slide that band off. We're going to stand back up. And we're going back into our rear fly. If you're using your dumbbells and you want more challenge, try dropping those weights slow on the way down. The mini band really is challenging enough. You're going to keep your elbows bent. You're going to put your shoulder blades together. You're going to squeeze. If you're bent over, yeah, just really keep your back flat. Tiffany, that's perfect. That looks great. Emily, awesome. You guys look so strong. Everyone's got it. The worst thing we can do is do a rear fly standing up like this. It's got to be over so that we're almost parallel to the ground. So we can really target the back of the shoulder and support the low back at the same time. Whew. We're going to go right back into it whenever you're ready. Right back down on the ground. If you have that mini band, it's above the knees. We call this bridge abduction. Abduction just is that open. It means away from the midline. If you must be technical, we're going to roll up, open, close, and down. So it's just that little squeeze, squeeze. Think about how much you can contract your core. So remember, we want to like tuck the tailbone and kind of roll up as we lift the hips. I like to think of it as like one vertebrae at a time, rolling up and rolling back down. And you want to squeeze your butt cheeks together tight. Nice, good control here. It's not a big open. It doesn't take much. It's very, very small. So we're going out, in, down. Woo, you got all 20. Take your time with it. You want to feel this in your butt. You're getting nothing in your butt. You might have to try to keep it smaller. Or squeeze your cheeks together just to bring some awareness into our booties. You know, we sit on our butts all day long, and so those muscles get kind of, there's a saying, it's called dead butt syndrome. They get very inactive, and sometimes you gotta wake them up. This exercise is a really good way to do that. So little lift and squeeze, open, close, and down. Woo. Your pace, no rush. We are gonna do one more set of these two. Taking our time, your time. We're doing perfect on time. So when we hit that last set of rear fly, give this as much control as you can. If you're using dumbbells, slow and easy on the way down, nice flat back. Chest is out. If you're using a band, you can stand up straight. It's easier on the low back, and then you can just pull it here. Oh, yes. You got it. Think back of the shoulder, back of the arm. Chest out. Oh, yeah. So, woo. So we have eight of those. Awesome. And then we're back down on the ground. Woo. Last set of these bridges. So we're gonna slide that band up above the knees. We're going into these bridges last set. While we're doing that, since I'm thinking about it, so we got those last 20 bridges, little open, little close, set it down. Tuck and squeeze. Keep it tight, keep it controlled. While I'm thinking about it, as we record this, it is Friday, and a week from tomorrow is July 4th. So July 4th, we don't have classes. So we will not have the Saturday morning class or the in-studio classes. We are taking the day off, dang it. Hopefully you guys are too. I will put out a replay. I'll throw out a circuit replay to keep you covered though. So that if you want to get a workout in, we'll send you a workout you can do. But we are taking the day off. Tomorrow, Saturday, which as we record this tomorrow is June, what, 27th? Yeah. The class tomorrow morning is usually at 9:30. It's going to be at 10 because Shannon is off, and I teach here at the studio until 9:30, so I can't get on to teach y'all on the computer until 10. So just next Saturday only, or just tomorrow only, 10 o'clock, and then next Saturday only, no class. Other than that, we should be normal for the time being. So when you finish bridges and you come up, if you want to do an interval, you can do mountain climbers. So just flip right over on your hands and knees. Knees in and out. Remember that mountain climbers are about not disrupting our planks. We don't want to round our back, and we don't want to tuck. And there's a way to do that standing too, if you want to. I tell you what, if you're not going to do mountain climbers because it bothers your wrist, then instead of that, because we're going to do high knees, instead of that, you can do, let's see, we did, you could do like the skater from side to side, and we're doing 30. Because we're going to do high knees in a second, so I don't want you to do high knees, which is normally what I would have you do in this instance. And then grab some water when you are ready. And we're going to work our way back down, eventually, to the floor. Okay, sorry, I was just thinking. So, we're gonna come into half kneeling. If you have a mini band, you're gonna half kneel. You're gonna put your fingers inside the band instead of over your wrists. And we're gonna put it in our pocket, draw the sword, and put it back in, 8 on each side. If you have a dumbbell, take it in one hand. Pull out the sword, put the sword back in. Take the opposite arm out to the side like this. So if you have a dumbbell, use a dumbbell, but go really light. So this is our anti-rotation chop. It's different, it's more challenging with one arm. There's no real way to do it with one arm with a band. I tried everything I could think of, it doesn't work. So with the band, we're just gonna think in the pocket, out of the pocket, slice. If we're using a dumbbell, we're gonna put, so you wanna think, Tiffany, switch hands. You wanna think, draw the sword. It's like my sword and back in. Yeah, isn't that fun? I like it with one arm. But it was really funny in studio. You're gonna do 8 and then you'll switch sides and do 8. And if you're doing a band, same thing, you switch knees. We did it in studio today, and I had only really practiced this with this little 3-pound dumbbell. And I grossly overestimated the weight that clients would use, and the clients were like, are you insane? So very light on the weight. When you finish that, take either your band or a dumbbell to the floor with you. We're gonna do a hollow hold. Oh wait, not everybody's ready. Nice, Tiffany, you got it. That's exactly it. Yeah, good, Shasta. Very, very nice. Awesome. So we want a weight that's somewhere between maybe 5 and 10 pounds. If you don't have a weight, you can use a mini band. Hollow holds are all about not arching the back. So hollow hold to start with is either here with knees bent, maybe one leg straight, maybe both. We're gonna add a challenge to this. So if you're using the band, you're gonna hold the band against your hands and just press your hands out. If you're holding a dumbbell, you're gonna hold the dumbbell. So it doesn't matter where your legs are, just make sure your low back stays flat. So we're gonna come up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So legs either extend, maybe we bend the knees. Where's your low back today? If we need to adjust this for the back, keep the knees bent. You can try one knee and one leg out. Sometimes if one side of my back is cranky, I'll stick with this because it's still more challenging, but then I'm not making my back bend. Or most challenging would be both legs out, keep pulling up and in, and make it like this. I like to call it like half of an avocado shape. And relax. Very nice. Stand up. So 3 exercises in this circuit. The next one is high knees. So we're going to get the heart rate up a little bit. So high knees, low impact is here. We're going to take the arms over the knees. Make sure we're not rounding forward. So nice tall spine. That's low impact. High impact is here. We're doing that for 30 seconds. Ready, and go. So high impact. Knees to the chest. Core tight and pump your arms a little bit. Low impact can still be high intensity. We're bringing the knees out, the arms over the legs. Yeah, make sure you're breathing. Think about the intensity of it. Like you can even make this low impact look fast. 10 seconds, come on. You got it. Woo. Looking good. You got a break coming. Keep pushing forward. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Okay. Take a little breather. With 2 more sets of that. So, if you're ahead of us on the chop, that's cool, but I'm going to time the hollow hold and the high knees. So let's take at least 30 seconds rest here. Remember that if you're using a band, fingers inside. Everybody's going to think of this like, so come into your half kneel, like you're pulling a sword out of your sheath and putting it back in. So if we're using our dumbbell, it's going to be the corresponding hand of the knee that's down. I want this opposite arm out. So if you haven't started yet, you may. Opposite arm is out. Little bend at the elbow, but we're really pulling this out to the side here. So this is anti-rotation. Now, you're getting the back of your shoulder. For sure, you're feeling that in your upper back. But what's cool is this is more challenging in a lot of ways than doing it with both hands when we do an anti-rotation, because you don't have weight on the other side, which makes this trickier. Yeah. So keep tucking that hip forward. Pull it out. Shove it in. Ooh, very nice. Eventually, we'll make our way onto our back. If you're not there yet, no worries. We'll wait. Y'all good? You're looking good. Nice shots, nice Tiffany. Good control there. Very awesome. Is it raining? It looks like it's raining in Emily's shot. It's just dripping from earlier. It did pour down rain. Like right as I was coming down here. All right, so grab your weight or your band. We're coming back first. In your hollow hold, you're gonna lay back and lift your knees up. And then I'll tell you when to lift your chest. So take a weight. 3, 2, 1. Lift your chest now, extend your legs. You can keep them bent, keep them as close to the body as you need to support your low back. You can straighten one leg and bend the other. That makes it less difficult on the back. You're pushing that weight up towards the ceiling. You're gonna feel that engages your upper core muscles more than just our regular hollow hold, because it's adding a little bit of weight for you to push against. We're looking good. We got 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Woo. All right, let's stand up. We got high knees. So high or low impact doesn't matter. Kick up the intensity. It's our chance to get our heart rate up. So we have, excuse me, 4, 3, 2, 1. We go. So we're high impact. Try to keep this light and fast. Again, you want to keep your core tight so there's not too much movement through your hips. And we're just running that out. For low impact, you come here, pulling down with the arms like you're breaking a stick over your knee. Keep that core tall, strong. We're not rounding forward. Engage it. You got it. 10 seconds here. This does not have to be low intensity, even if it's low impact. Move your arms and legs big. Just get your heart rate up. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Woo. Deep breath. We got one more round. All right. I got this timer set for 30 seconds of rest with 20 seconds to go. If you don't want to wait, you don't have to. But if you want to take a breather, when you come into your half kneel, remember we're coming here with that weight. So again, we're still not turning our shoulders, we're still not rotating. That opposite arm, I want it out. Because what we're trying to do is balance the weight on one side so that we're not being pulled. So we have to keep tension on the side without the weight. And then if you have a band, same thing, try to kind of overcorrect with one arm. Overcorrect, like pull more with the top arm. So putting it in the pocket, pulling out of the pocket, tuck your hips forward from the back. Woo! Breathe, squeeze, woo! Push down. You got 8 of those? And then eventually we'll meet together on your back for that last hollow hold. Very nice. You guys look strong. Strong today. Aren't 8s lovely? We were joking. One of the clients who always does distance came back in studio this week for the first time, and I said, girl, you picked the perfect week. It's 8th week. And she said, I did that on purpose. I was like, well, that was smart. Because the person who started last week on 12s wasn't happy. All right, so we're going to lift the knees. I'll tell you when. In 4, 3, 2, reach that weight of that band to the sky. Now extend the legs if you can. Even if you're keeping your knees bent, can we extend them just a little bit away from the body and keep pulling the low back flat to the floor? I'd rather see bent knees with your feet closer to the ground than straight legs way up in the air. Really, truly. What we're working towards is being able to get to this like hollow half avocado. So we need to do it with bent knees before we can get there. If we're starting here, we're never going to get there. Go ahead and relax. Now you heard the tone, but I was making a speech. You can hear that timer go off. All right, we're stand up. Last set of high knees, then we're done. We're going to stretch and be out of here. All right. Big deep breath. We got 30 seconds. That's it. 4, 3, ready, let's go. So we're getting it up. Either high impact, knees coming up towards belly button, run, kick out, right here or here. Arms over the knees, nice tight core. Making sure all what you do is make big movements and get your heart rate up. That's the goal here. It's all about just that. It's not about making this look perfect or doing exactly what I'm doing. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Woo. Awesome. Nice big deep breath. We're going to stretch. So a couple deep breaths before you lie down. Let that heart rate settle. But when you're ready, we're going to start in back. Thank you, Emily with the Y. See you soon, dear. All right, everybody else, we're coming back into that figure four. She told me ahead of time she had to leave early. So we're gonna cross that foot over the opposite knee and draw that leg in. Like I always say, especially if you're doing us on replay, don't skip the stretch. You need it, it's good for you. Makes a huge difference. So as you're stretching, we're gonna breathe. Big deep breaths in the nose, out the mouth, nice and slow. Calm that system down. You worked hard. You should be proud of yourselves. Way to bring it. Go ahead and relax. We'll switch sides. Opposite leg over. Draw it in and pull. Always such a satisfying feeling knowing you showed up, you got it done, and you put in the time. So good for you guys. Happy Friday. A couple updates. I sent out an email about this. We are trying to transition back to using my coach for messaging as much as we can. Most of you guys who are on here with me live, I've been messaging you in my coach, so you should be fine. Go ahead and hug your knees in, roll to seated. Both legs out front, one foot over the opposite knee. If you're watching on replay and you're like, what? I haven't looked at my coach in months. Sign into it. If you can't get in, let me know. So we are trying to keep messaging back in one location. It's the easiest way to make sure that someone, not just me, gets your message, because the other trainers have access to that too. But that's the one update. I already talked a little bit about scheduling. Go ahead and switch sides. So this class is going to move to noon. The noon Thursday is going to move to 8:30. If there are thoughts you have, I mean, look, like we can't do every single class time, but if there are suggestions you have, it is helpful. Just because, like, for example, that noon Friday, there were a couple people who asked. And so I was like, well, yeah, if I've got a lot of people who want it, I can totally do that. There are a couple in-studio changes too that I won't talk about here, but if you're watching on replay and you're coming in studio, go ahead and stand up. Be on the lookout for those. We are moving into our new studio space on July 27th, so that's exciting. We're gonna come into that upper back stretch, draw the shoulder blades together, round it out. Accountability, so those of you who are eligible for the accountability program and haven't done, which actually I think everybody here either it's not part of your option or you've already been on with me. But if you're on the replay and you don't know what I'm talking about, check your email. Take those arms back behind, roll the shoulders back, chin up, chest up. Let's see, what else? Not a ton of other things to talk about. Most of those things I already mentioned as far as scheduling. And then tomorrow, the 27th, class is at 10 instead of 9:30. Next Saturday, July 4th, we do not have class. Go ahead and bring your right arm across, hug it in. I promise to provide you guys with a replay of a strength 3 with the appropriate reps. And, oh no, we'll have strength 3, but it will be at noon. We will have a circuit. I'll put a circuit out for you for Saturday, the 4th of July. Other side here for the shoulders. Oh, yeah. I think that's mostly it. Lots of good stuff happening. No other changes to distance. We're keeping everything we've been doing will stay the same. Hands to the thighs, push the butt back, flat back here. So we're going to start kind of about mid-shin. Roll the shoulders back, bring them off the floor. Once you feel a nice stretch there, if you want to deepen it, you can reach down to the floor. Make sure the crown of your head follows. The arms are close to the legs to support the low back. And just get hand up there just for a minute. Breathe. And then draw the arms up the body, all the way back up to that blood cell out of your head. Roll the shoulders down and back 3 times. And then we'll take a deep breath, inhale, reach up, stretch. Oh, big breath out. Woo! Yeah, one more here, big deep breath. Inhale, reach. Big breath, exhale. And give yourselves a round of applause. Way to show up on a Friday. You guys are awesome. I always laugh because I'm like, if we were doing this on Fridays before, like when people had lives,